Yeah, Simnandi. Lovely. Sanbonani Dumelang. We are here. Welcome back. This is our new show, Real Art Is. That's our main question. This is the talk we always try to have. We know that the main answer might never be there, but let's try find out how the artists are thinking and if we can try find something about real art is, I'm Khotso Motsoeneng, mostly known as 33, because I talk too much. Hopefully I still do, because it's a talk show, Let's talk some more. And I'm chilling today with my beautiful friend here. Angela, she's going to introduce herself. Josie Artist, tell them about you.
Hi everyone. Nqobile Mkari. I go by Josie Artist. I'm a performance artist. Well, I'd like to call myself multidisciplinary. I don't like to really fix myself to one box or one way of expressing myself. So I do performance, installation, video art. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place. Seems like I think what real artists used to be, what they used to represent. I don't think being an artist was being a painter or being a photographer or being a performer. It's like it encompasses such a lot of things. Like, you're a scientist. You are playing around with methods that you don't know how you control. So, actually, our main questions are like, what do you think real art is? And does that question make sense?
Ooh. I remember one time, I was asking my friends, I was like, we live in a space where everything is so fluid, right? Especially when you study art, it feels like everything, there's like a straight trajectory. We move from one movement to the next. And right now, people classify this movement as contemporary. And I think I kind of like that because it doesn't limit what art is meant to be or what it's meant to look like. I think people are just really on a quest of finding themselves, especially as Africans, as Black people. We're on a journey of really reclaiming our identities, and that can look very messy, even in the way that we express ourselves.
True.
So in terms of what art is, I feel like, yeah, man, I'd say art is, it's anything that you claim. It just depends on the person. You can call yourself art in the way that you dress, in the way that you move, in the way that you see the world, I think also this exclusivity of you're only an artist if you've studied art, or it kind of recreates those
box.
It perpetuates exclusion.
And we like to say we are the free-spirited, the ones that never leave others out.
Exactly.
We are the artists are the ones who are rebellious, but we still fall inside the same boxes of the capitalistic system. You still need to pay rent, whether you're an artist or not. Whatever rebellion you have, there's a certain point where you stop.
Right.
I'm rebellious, Mara.
Reality kicks in.
It kicks in. Hey, what's this? How do I maneuver? So this is leading me to one of these other questions we like to ask here. How do you get your money right in the art game? Because I know some artists have second jobs. I know some artists are I'm stopping this art thing. I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer. And you find lawyers that are I'm stopping this thing of law. I want to be an artist, how's your journey moving around? What's keeping you in the space of the arts?
I guess I'm lucky in a sense where I'm doing my master's currently at UJ. So I'm looking at not just practicing art, but also lecturing. So I'm looking at other possibilities. And I think at first I was kind of nervous, right? Especially going in as a performance artist. It's shit, how do I make money from that? Because how do you sell performance? You know, like it's much easier.
How can they keep you in their house and pay for that product?
Yeah.
Apart from the video part.
Yeah. So I think recently, like, doors have been opening, like getting commissions and stuff like that. It's like, oh shit, like people see me, like
for
they
performance.
Yeah.
Like, what do clients look for when they say, as a performer, pull in? Here's a commission. What are they trying to buy?
So recently, right, like there was a commission I had at Constitutional Hill, and they basically wanted me to respond to the space and reflect on 30 years of democracy. And when I went into the space and I looked around and like I was given a tour, I was more interested in what was happening outside instead of inside, you know? Like abantu that came, like coming into the space were like tourists, and you know, I still sensed Uguti, it's an exclusive space, like it stands for like justice, equality, but then abantu mabazile bavakashile, like it doesn't feel like you can just go there.
Even the fire of hope is secured there. You can't get close to it.
Exactly.
It's like a fire resembling something that we should be close to.
Yeah, like even the monument itself, like it feels like it's bigger than you, you know, like you don't feel like you belong there, you know?
Yeah.
And also I was more interested in the women that were outside, like protesting. I was like, is no one paying attention, you know? So in that sense, like I responded by wanting to do the piece outside of the space. Like I think for it to be accessible to like a normal person passing by, you know, and challenging the monument itself. So yeah, like I think so far, like that's one of the first commissions as a performance artist that I've had. In the past, I've sold like paintings and stuff like that, but I got bored, like of just
making money.
No, not making money. Like I felt more called to like using my body as a tool of expression. Like I feel more called to do that, you know. It comes with its challenges, like I said. Like how do you?
They try to buy you because you are the performer. You are like the artwork. At the end of the day, when they have to buy something, it sort of feels like they are buying you. It's tricky. I don't think I can be a performer, but only the art journey can tell, you know. Like,
but I'm learning along the way, Guti. Like, it doesn't just have to be the body. Like, photographs, videos can live after the body. They can move around.
Like have the performance documented, and then you sell the video part of it. You know? No, I think I saw a bit of those clips. I couldn't make your show, sorry. But I saw a few clips like on a live of someone on Instagram, and it felt like you are performing near the number 4 jail, walking up like you would as a tourist going to the Constitutional Court, you know. But then as soon as you get up there, you meet these people that are sitting there and they have something to say, you know, and they are always there, and they've sort of became part of the court. You know, if you've been to Constitutional Hill in the past 2 years, or let me say a year, just to be clear, I've seen them for so long. Like I've been seeing them, I can't even count now. Whenever there's like festivals, there's like shows there, they are always there every day, every morning. But everything goes on, and security seems like knows what's happening. The people that work there seem like they know what's happening. But if you come visit at the court there and the jails, you don't get their story. You sort of see that they have a big banner there listing some of the things that they are demanding, or some of the things that they want to see happen in the country. But a lot of us walk past. Like we see them and then we just look on. It's like what happens in Joburg when you're being mugged recently. You know, it's like you get mugged and people are looking.
They just
after you get mugged, they're like, what happened? And you're like, but I think you were looking. You know. So with that performance, what I am trying to touch on is like, what are the ladies there for, and the fathers that are there? Like they spend so much time there. Some sleep there. What's the story about? Like, can you clarify for us, since you were part of the performance?
So they've been there for like a year and a few months, and they are victims of apartheid. So they were promised like reparation funds, and the TRC hasn't like been responding. Even the lawyers that work there, they ignore them. You know, they use a backdoor to kind of not confront the situation. Even when events happen there, sometimes they close them off because they don't want it to kind of like tarnish the brand of the Constitution.
Oh, yeah, like they put like a flag to put them behind, to keep them at the court, near the court door, instead of us seeing while we are partying there.
Because it's a contradiction, bruh. Like, as you come there, they give you a tour and they're preaching about justice. But as soon as you step outside, you see, like, you know, there's gaps, you know? Like, what are you, like, how can you be talking about this? Like, do you even truly believe what you're talking about, even as a worker there? Because every day you step in and you kind of have to ignore them and kind of do your job, you know? So...
And it's the Constitutional Court. It stands for the human rights.
Exactly, that's where they're supposed to address these
at one
issues.
of the biggest jails that have the cruelty behind all these human rights. But it's still like not there.
30 years later.
It's at the door.
Yeah.
But people who work there and people that are standing for the rights are turning a blind eye. I think that's where our world is now,
Right?
But as artists, what can we do? What message can we try bring to our viewers to shine light to? Can we look? Can we see? Can we respond? Can we react? You know, like the performance seems like a good piece of showing that part, because I've been seeing them. So when I saw that piece, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think artists are doing something, but are people who are looking, seeing, and hearing the deeper message.
I think that's what I was trying to do with the piece, because I was walking up the Great African Steps, and as I was walking, I was speaking to this idea of, as the youth, we're kind of forced to like focus on success, especially as like black kids, you know. It's just like you can't afford to fuck up, you know. Like, you're not doing it only for yourself, but like, you know, like you need to do all of these things. But in doing that, you kind of ignore all the other people that you're leaving behind. So as I was walking up the steps, I made it a point which people need to stop and listen to these women. They had to be confronted by what they had to say, you know. Even the curators, like, having to negotiate that whole like idea of including them was kind of conflicting, because they were scared like they're gonna cause like too much noise. And I was like, how can you tell someone to kind of tone down their anger? You know, like I feel like it's not fair.
And it comes from very deep within, you know, the struggle is in their hearts. So I
can't make my anger palatable. You know? Like, I can't, just to make sure that you hear me, you know. It's like it's deeply rooted. Like, it was a lot. It was heavy. I realized even when I was doing it, it's more than just about me and just doing this like amazing, entertaining performance piece. It's like, what do I really have to say? Yeah.
Amazing that you touch on that, though. Like, showing people what's there. They walk past there every day, people who live in Hillbrow, some in Bram, you know, or work around the spaces. They always pass through there as just like a passageway. But I hardly see people engaging with them. Yeah. But I always hear them singing, you know. Okay, let's break away from the bit of sadness of our country, you know, like, which was the artist maganga perform me and not painting and not in studio, like. What else do we know, or can the artist tell us about her? Like, what does she stand for?
That's crazy. I've never thought of my identity outside of what I do. Like, it's just become, like, the way I move, the way I breathe, like, it's it's just become that, you know. But I value spending time with the people that I love. I value I'm lying, you know. There are times where I enjoy stepping out of being an artist and just living as a human. I think, it's gonna become sad again, just a little bit, you know.
Life is real after all, you know. Like, that's what we live for, the reality.
But last year became like after the shit that I went through, like it was important for me to remember that I'm not just an artist, I'm also a human. And I think I spent so much time trying to like make it and like prove a point, and you know, like that became my sole identity. And whenever I'd go home, because I see home as a space where I can ground myself and like, you know, connect with family. And my parents would always remind me, Uti, like, you are more than just Ujozi artist. You still Nqobile, you know.
Nqobile before acabanga ukuthi Ujozi artist. Jozi artist is one of the characters.
Yeah, dude. And I became depressed. Depressed because honestly, I was giving too much to that, and
being this Jozi artist.
Yeah, like
forgetting
the cup was
Nqobile.
Yeah, my cup was empty, and I needed to fill it. And sometimes the art doesn't fill the cup, you know, it's the people.
Because mostly the art is for you, you know. If I take it from my side of creating, it's like I make something that I think is right, that I love, and how people appreciate and take it in, it's mostly up to them, you know. So the art can always fill you up, right? It can be a meditative process and it can help you think, but
it also
doesn't mean it heals you all the time. Sometimes it's the one giving you stress. No, I feel you. So Nqobile and Ujozi artist are two different humans, do you think?
I'm trying to do this thing where I don't separate, because I always speak about my shadow side, and you know, and it's just like they both me, you know, like they all me. So I'm trying to kind of create that harmony between the two, so that I don't suck Ujozi artist dry, you know, where I need to fill both cups and ensure that I'm not just an artist, I'm still a human being engaging with other parts of life, you know? Because sometimes it's important to step away and just live and exist and pour into other things like friends and family and just going out and just, you know, just breathing in, man, like,
being yourself. Okay. And there's also one question I ask, but because I wah a lot, I sometimes get people to miss the question I try to ask, and I ask so many questions. So another one that I want to ask is like, what keeps Jozi artists in Jozi and in August House Art Studios? How do you juggle that? I think you answered it, but I don't think I sort of grapple on how does Jozi artists keep being the Joburg artist around, you know. I know the commissions help a lot, but if there's no commissions and you're not selling any paintings, what becomes your source of keeping the artist alive? Like, how do you stay being Jozi artist and keep it together, Nqobile, you know? How do you balance the two?
I think going into my master's, I went in because I knew what I wanted to do research. Like I enjoy writing, right? So being here in Jozi and being immersed in the culture and the space itself, I've just been like researching and observing like the rhythms of the city, and I've found like our rhythms are still. It's like we're liberated, but we're still moving in a way that is still very restrictive. Like everyone that's here is like, we're making ends meet, you know? Like there's no space to breathe. From the moment you wake up and you hear the cars, like you feel that pressure, like I should be doing something.
Why am I still sleeping?
Like why are you chilling, bruh?
Why am I even sleeping in the city, you know?
Like,
about 8 times you couldn't. It's 5 p.m., go home. You know?
And like I'm looking at like what does it mean to like challenge that rhythm? Like what does it mean to kind of be in a space, because I feel like those rhythms are also because of the past, like colonial, capitalistic, right? I still feel like even though we're liberated, there's still like these invisible structures that limit the way that we move, especially as Black bodies, right? It's like there's no space to just exist as a human. It's like you can't afford to exist. What do you mean you're just existing, you know?
So, you should be doing something, earning some money to pay some taxes, build the economy. Be the human we need, you know, a citizen that's alive.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been researching, just observing and journaling and just feeling the space, feeling how my body is when I step outside, like that fear, that tension, especially as a woman, you know, all of those things, even though they're not the greatest things to be feeling, they feed into what I'm working towards, like my art and stuff like that. So okay, since we also touched on
capitalism, which is what we are using currently, do you think there's like another system that can be used, that can be a bit better than capitalism, or join with capitalism and be something different? Do you think there's another system that can like make the capitalistic system be less stressful for humans, or is them like, should we cut it out, get another system, or can artists maybe think of another system that can work instead of capitalism?
You know what's weird, ne? I can see the advantages and disadvantages. The advantages with capitalism, in my opinion, is that you're always striving for more. Like, it keeps you going, right? But then when I think about like alternative ways of existing, I'm just like, I just look around and I'm like, there are these boxes, right, that we exist in, like these tall walls. Like when you start getting money, it's like the walls keep getting taller.
I'm into my sliding door.
Exactly.
So they can't be seeing that I have a sliding door. It's easier to get through, make the wall bigger, or leave the hood.
And it just separates us even more and more. Like, it's like the more you earn, the more you become separated from the community. So I think it goes against like our innate way of existing as Black bodies. We're meant to be like living as communities, like like our kama fence, you know, like everyone is just like if like you can just, you know, there's not that thing so that's a reflection that means I'm not doing well, right?
Because of the space, it's not enough.
And I think because now Shaggy going.
So, I think that's my fault. Sorry. The laptop does that sometimes. Like, phone is on silent, but the laptop is not silent. Something I've just learned.
Hey man, you're working man.
Switch off your phone. That's the main cause. Sorry to disturb you there, but I even lost a bit of the train of thought that we were moving on the capitalism systems and other
the sense
systems.
Of community has been diminished.
But I feel like also apartheid South Africa had a bit of that flowing. I'm telling you there. No fences, no crime around, but there was also something, you know, to keep the communities like that, with no crime, you know, no hunger, no sadness. Like, we are fine. Everyone has a job, you know. It did not mean that bushap. Nasemakhaya. Akunama fence, akunama what, but marakusho ukuthi bad things don't happen. You know, with that freedom of not having a fence, but in this new South Africa, you know, you must lock your doors. You know, as much as you know everyone in the community, but you can't always trust to die sharp.
But all of it is as a result of capitalism. You know, the reason why I want Bajonj and all of these snacks.
But what system can get rid of that? You know, like, is it maybe communism, like Ubuntu. I think picks up from that.
Yeah.
Starts out with it. Okay, Mina, I have some orange. When I have some avocado, the season comes, you give me avos. My season comes, I give you oranges. But it then starts this build up of, but my avos are big. Your oranges are small. And I don't control what the tree gives. I think that's what breeded the system that we are currently waving upon. I'm not saying it's a good one. I'm not saying it's like perfect.
I think the problem is that sometimes we think in giving to another person, you feel like it's taking away from yourself.
Yeah.
So I think it starts with the self. It starts with the intention, So, yeah. Yeah. Because even now, if we had to switch to that, we'd have to unlearn this very way of existing, which has been ingrained in us already.
Yeah, ngoba nami nginokucabanga mangihleli ukuthi mangithi ngiyakhuluma most of the time, like, why is the English kule vocabulary yami engizama ukuyenza ukuthi kube isiZulu uku-explainela lento engiyifunayo, mara mangithi ngiya-explainela sengikhuluma English, I'm explaining ngasachazi. It's so deep in our thoughts that phupha nge-English, ucabanga nge-English, isiZulu yasikhuluma ngoba siyadingeka, nesisuthu yasazi ngoba vele yabona into ekhule ngayo ikasi ikhona erowundini. But I feel like what we are dealing with is like deeper than we think. That's why it was
mental slavery.
I think if capitalism bengekho ngabantu abagangi ngizolo mara akusho ukuthi ukuganga bekungekho before kunama system ukuthi we see gold as value, when gold was just popping up and you're like, it's just another beautiful rock. And you see a diamond, it's like, that's also another beautiful rock. Capitalism came and said, this rock has such valuable. A value, and I feel where you say it's taken from, that's what Ubuntu is missing now with this system that's like angeke sikhona ukudla sonke.
So time is currency.
When ama-avocado wakho makhulu, mina kunika ama-orange amancane ngifila ngathi ngiyakorobha. Like angazi yiphi system esingakhona ukuyisebenzisa or how we can reconfigure our train of thoughts, how we think, how we live. And I think that's one of the jobs that artists should do. Khumbuza abantu with actually ngakhuluma isiZulu kuphela. You see artist interviews from Japan, and they don't compromise.
Right?
Balaphaya Louisiana channel, but they're rolling in Japanese, man. Like, we're reading translations down there now. I think
the problem is we think if we speak English, then it means like it kind of like value. It makes you more valuable. It makes you more accessible, more seen.
You access more people. Yeah, it is.
People will take you more seriously because you speak English.
Because you go to these multilingual schools. Like, okay, fika maye ukuthola igasi lamakhaladi, ukuthola namandiya, scale nazo. Okay, home language English, first additional language Afrikaans. Siphi Zulu, siphi Sotho, that's all they offering you. Mawufika endlini ufeyili English bakuthethisa. Kanti udivela kanjani English yome kancane. Maqeda uyenzani wena, you develop a way of, now I'm going to focus on learning my English and improving so that I don't fail. So I'll talk more English, I'll think in English, I'll dream in English. And then you get older and then batendlini wena usakhulumi kakunamlungu la lesilungu sakho sile.
Right.
So I think this confusion is just the build-up of how our society is built. Like, they say do this. Once you're this old, you're like, but I could have done it this way. Instead of what they said, and they are also agreeing with me. You could have done it that way, but I was not given a choice. The choice was only two options: English and Afrikaans. No Zulu, no Sotho. If I go to a school with Zulu and Sotho, second language, additional language becomes automatically English. It can't be another vernacular language. So I think our system is made in such a way that you can run, but you can't hide. And there's no space to run to. So all these systems, I feel like they've been tried, and I don't think there's one that works. Maybe we need to invent a new one.
I think that it all starts with us, right? I think now that we have the awareness of the things that don't work, I think it's time for us to sit down with ourselves and really ask ourselves like alternative ways of engaging with others, alternative ways of existing. So it's a form of activism for us to also remind ourselves, because we fall into those traps, Nati, as individuals, right? It's like we notice the things that are wrong, but then as soon as you step out of the conversation, you fall right back into the rat race. So I think it's important for us to just remind ourselves, I think we're already on the right path. We have the awareness. We've recognized what's wrong. So what are we going to do about it, But
can you really get out of the red race, the matrix,
In small ways. I think sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves, we want to change the world, but it's in the little things that we do.
Like making a painting and trying to sell it for 5,000. The little things.
Amen.
Because when I think about that, the reason I just said that is I'm thinking about minimum wage in South Africa, 5,000 something, I think maybe, per month, 28 rand an hour maybe, so if I'm an artist right now, like you said, it's a bit better. They say contemporary art, which is also a box that's very big and wide.
It's too wide.
You can't leave anything out, but you can say this is what's in. You can't really say this is what's in and this is what's left out. So the idea also of contemporary is
it's everything all at once, but it's what is it then?
What is it? There's nothing. Also, we are living in these black bodies in South Africa, like you say, and we are trying to survive, and now we are westernized. Our tongues are very calm when it comes to English. Moja kuluma batempe lesulu sakho ngathi Zulu. Oh, abuwa ba ai wena awuna muzulu mo sesotho sesahawo king hunt. Yabo hey engisenkingeni yazi. Mangikhuluma nalaba ngiyasala. Yeah. So last corner is a bubble of we are lost, but we think we're close to being found. I feel like this rat race is something you can't really escape.
It's a mental thing. I feel like once you tell yourself that, it's like when you manifest, right? Like I said, it's like an activism. Every day you reaffirm yourself. You reaffirm your mind until it believes it. It's like standing in front of the mirror and telling yourself you love yourself. You don't have to believe it yet, but it becomes ingrained.
The more you say it, the more the brain is like, this is what we're on. This is what we're on. We love each. We love this body. This is love. Because
then once you love this body, then only then can you spread that to the ones in your proximity.
So it's at hand. Do we need to start art collectives that are based in let's get together, let's talk, and let's remind each other what we are about, what we are trying to remember, what we are trying to relearn or unlearn. But how do we create those spaces, the artists? Like we are at August House now. building of 4 floors, many artists, but there's still that tiny bridge that's still. I sneaky chance ukuthi sikhulume with each other freely like we would want to, and the way we would want this idea to be, you know, of artists are free, they are the rebels, they teach us new things, they go new ways. Because there's people that are like, hey, Khotso, you know, hey, Orengi, okay, 60 tower. If I get 60, I'm buying a second-hand car. I'm not buying this artwork to put on my wall. Like, what's this? What did you paint? You know, like, how do we dodge that question of how do we create the value of this art? How can you say this piece is 60 and you know minimum wage is 5,000 rand?
Yeah, I feel like in terms of the spaces that you're talking about, I feel like you're already doing that. Like in inviting me in the space and giving me the platform to just be myself and just speak my mind. You're already doing that, you know?
It's the start.
Yeah. And then in terms of our value, I feel like that's the problem, right? Especially in our communities, because people close to us, they love what we do. They'll come and be like, dog, this is sick. But you know they're not going to buy it. And like that's the sad part.
Your t-shirt is 1,000 rand. Like, I earn 5. So, and my rent is 2.5 if I'm lucky. You know, rent is like 4,000 rand when it's like cheap, you know, like 3,000 when you're lucky, you know.
It's sad because it's like our art speaks to black people, but then it sells to white people. So it's like...
Yeah, you know, my great teacher, Selolo Tswalo, said his company is called Cent Art. He wants to make artworks be so cheap that they can cost 1 cent, you know, so that we can stop the images that we hang, kokasi, kemelengwana, mponyana, you know, like, let's have these new artists hanging kokasi in these shacks, you know. Why do we have a picture of Jesus hanging, you know, and Kiyo Chosi artist is here, selling artwork for 5,000 rand, like, I'm gonna buy a Jesus photo. You're gonna take my whole rent money and I'm gonna buy one piece from you. I understand you also need it for rent, but I just got 5 grand. So like I feel like we should try as the black bodies create art that's trying to get back to our homes, you know. Like we sell to the market, like you just described. The market that responds better is this one, you know. But the market that we are trying to reach to.
I think.
Disturbed.
Okay, what I try to do, I guess I'm also lucky in the sense, right? Ngihlale Dube, right? So like that's where I'm from. And in that space, there's like a skate park and they support artists. So from time to time, I go back and I showcase my work there or I collaborate with them. That's my way of kind of giving back to the community. It's in the smallest ways, man.
Yeah, showing the young ones that you can make a bit of money out of this. It's a career. Yes, you can go to uni and study this. Okay, man, no, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, you know, like being here with us and tapping into your world and telling our humans how you make it work or how it's tricky to make it work, you know. Yeah, thank you for coming to Reall Art Is. We also still don't know, but thank you for your opinion, and we'll add it on to our answers of everyday life. This is what we think real art is, you know.
Indeed. Thank you for having me too.
Sweet stuff. Lovely stuff, Bafeju. Say it, the next one. Was it free to talk?
Yeah.
Did you feel like you can talk some more?
Yeah.